So, Ollie, Sheffield United away at Portman Road on Friday night. Is there a part of you that's dreading the game?
I think a more appropriate question going, is there a part of it that isn't? Is there a part of you that isn't dreading this game all? Because obviously the way this season's gone so far, it's hard not to dread when games are coming up on a Saturday.
Yeah, or Friday night in this instance.
Friday night, yeah.
Yeah, even lost track of when the games are on. I think for Sheffield United, I think if you can somehow scrap for a point at Portman Road and then beat Charlton next week at home, that's your best chance of just getting something moving.
We've just got to get started. Absolutely. By hook or by crook. Because there's so much that's gone wrong so far, but we have to draw a line under it. We have to go again. It's almost as if the season starts on Friday now because the transfer window's closed. We know exactly what our team's going to look like. There's no point discussing any of the other stuff that's going on or the worries. You know, I gave my thoughts last week on what I think needed to happen. It hasn't happened. So let's move on from it and let's get behind what we've got in front of us. So, yeah, the season starts on Friday. We need to scrap for something. I remember going back to Chris Wilder's first season in charge, ironically. League One, we'd been absolutely onking. For 4 or 5 games, we'd started really badly.
It was 4 games. It was you drew with Rochdale, didn't you, on the second week, and then lost the South End. That was a big
3-1,
one.
Bramall Lane.
And then lost to Millwall.
Like a world beater.
Yeah. And then against Oxford, went 1-0 down, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And then you did actually manage to win 2-1, and
we won the game 2-1. James Wilson header off a free kick, and then obviously Billy. Who else was it ever going to be to get you off and started? But yeah, it feels a bit like we need that because we weren't very good that day. That weren't a dominant performance to guarantee you 3 points and kick your season on. But we needed a win. We had to get ourselves off the mark, over the line. And that was how we did it. And I think that's exactly the kind of performance that we need in front of us. Whether it's Ipswich on Friday, I think most fans recognise that it's one of the hardest away games we're going to have all season. They've not started fantastically. They themselves are probably looking at it and thinking, we need a win here. We can't keep letting this season just tick away and tick away. They'll want to get started as well. So hopefully it makes for a really good spectacle. It's 2 teams who know they've got to come out of the blocks. They've got to come firing. It's 2 teams who so far this season have flattered to deceive in front of goal, shall we say, in terms of their finishing and the way that's gone. So, yeah, there's a chance we're in for a really exciting Friday night. There's also a chance we're in for a very one-sided, embarrassing Friday night. But positives. I think that we are in a much better place. We've had 2 weeks in training. I expect to see a much better coached, a much more organised, and a squad who know what the plan is. And with the squad we've got, if they can deliver to Sellers' plan, there's always a chance we could do something crazy.
I've got a feeling it's going to be 0-0 on Friday, you know. I think Sheffield United had kind of come together and put together a show of resilience, of like, we're just not going to get beat. And I think you're playing Ipswich at a time where they're still trying to find some of those attacking patterns and it might be a little bit disjointed. So I've got a strong feeling that that's going to be goalless. That's just my little hunch.
I wouldn't massively bet against it. I can see United transitioning to 5 at the back. I think if we are trying to shut up shop, there's every chance that we transition to 5 at the back. We go with, obviously, McGuinness having come in to be the big physical presence that we were just talking about, Wrexham missing. You know, you then got Tanganga and Godfrey. All of a sudden, that's a very solid back line where you've got pace, you've got power, you've got a really nice balance. And so there's every chance I could see us moving to that with one of the two, Sumari or Matos, playing that defensive midfield role and us really trying to shut the game down. If we do that and do it successfully, it will at least be a sign of progress. It'll be a sign of us sort of adapting the plan to make sure that we can deliver what the team's got. And I think all United fans would see that as a step forward.
Yeah, you know when Sheffield Wednesday used to do it at Bramall Lane, where there were 1 or 2 games where you were brilliant under Wilder and they were absolutely terrible, and yet they would just come to Bramall Lane and we're like, you're not going to beat us, kind of thing.
I still have nightmares about Josh Lurkai.
His first game, wasn't it?
His first game at Bramall, we'd have beat them 6-0 that day if McGoldrick had scored his penalty. But Rawson saves the pen. It don't go in the net. And we just, for love nor money, cannot score. A game like that would be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Just steal a point from somewhere. I mean, I want to talk about a few of the other games that are coming up this weekend. Charlton against Millwall. Millwall historically have a great record at the Valley. Millwall, they also generally this season they seem to be better away from home, don't they?
Good
And they've
away, bad
actually
at home.
lost their yeah. So I wonder if that's going to continue. But again, it should be a feisty game, shouldn't it? Nathan Jones against Millwall. It's it's going to be feisty, isn't it?
Nathan Jones against Millwall is what dreams were made of. 12:30 as well, so you can watch it on the telly. There is going to be fireworks everywhere in terms of being able to get that
if
one.
Charlton win, Nathan Jones is going to rip his shirt off and run over to Millwall fans.
He's going to fully Mourinho it all the way down the touchline. Like, for a fact that it is going to happen. And I am here for it so much.
Oh, absolutely. Brilliant stuff.
But I think Millwall are a really interesting team so far this season. I've been thinking about them, not thinking about them a lot. That makes it sound weird, but I've been thinking about them. So I just sit in front of the window doodling Millwall FC and I love heart. They're a really interesting team in the way that they've set up, but also their record, obviously, since Alex Neil's come into the club. I think they earn something like 1.7 points per game from their away games while Neil has been in charge. They've got a ridiculous record since he's come to the club. And what he's really done is sort of made them a little bit more expressive so that they can hurt teams in different ways away from home. I think we saw it at Bramall Lane earlier this season where for 45 minutes, they could sit in, defend, and just stop United being able to get through. And for 45 minutes, they were able to just create so many chances through that really dangerous front two. I really like the way they play, and I'm excited to see how they develop. But the home form is a bit of a concern. The way that it's not even necessarily the way they've lost, but it's the capitulations for me. Against Millwall, obviously, against Middlesbrough, it's 0-0 half-time. And they capitulated to lose that game. The same thing against Wrexham, where, they're in a decent spot. Oh, it's 2-0. And they've got to try and find a way to sort out what's happening at the Den. But away from home, I really fancy Millwall. It would be amazing to see Nathan Jones and his reaction to this victory. But I think Millwall, I really like them away from home. I think they've got the perfect setup. And I think they'll probably have enough to do over Charlton for me this weekend.
Interesting. Mihailo Ivanovic and Josh Coburn could be the key for the Lions.
So good.
I know, yeah. What do you think of Middlesbrough last time out? They've got Preston North End away this Saturday.
I really liked them, They felt like a team who were finally seeing some of that potential that we've talked about for years. I feel like I've been talking about Middlesbrough as being one of the best teams in the Championship for 3-4 seasons. And then you look at the table and you go, oh, they finished 10th. You told me they were one of the best teams in the Championship. Well, what are you talking about? I feel like we're finally seeing them get the results. Maybe they deserve a little bit more. They were unlucky to beat us 1-0 last week. Like, if it had been 3, I don't think any United fan could have complained. I think it was only the efforts of Japhet Tanganga which stopped it from being an absolute...
One man. Thou shalt not pass.
Yeah, he was just one man on his own going, I'll defend them, lads. Don't worry about it. It's a good job he did. But I really liked him. I love that sort of balance that they've got of their... sort of the way that they're set up to hurt teams, and particularly the way that they're using those wing backs. I thought Britton and Silvera were two of the real standouts against United. The space that Britton was having to get down that right wing, his delivery into the box, I thought really looked like hurting us every time they were able to spread the ball out there. And the way they can create, they've got a really distinctive way of creating these overloads that can really hurt you in those wide areas. Because you push Britton forward, Whittaker sort of drifts out to fill some of the half spaces. So if Britton wants to go down the line, he can. But if he wants to cut inside, he's always got an option for somebody who good on the ball, able to create, can also return the pass for the give and go. But Morris and Hackney and their energy always means there's a third option. Yeah. So not only have you got this really nice sort of attacking pair of Britton and Whittaker able to interchange, you've then got this third rogue element that can either bring you back inside. He can be a third man to create the overload down the wing for the spacers. And I really like that setup that they've got. It just feels perfectly set. I don't know how you really counter it unless you've got a really, really dominant defensive midfielder who can stop the movement of either Morris or Hackney. And that is a huge ask because, like I said last week, they're, for me, probably the best central midfield pairing in the Championship at the moment. Yeah. And so I think they're a really dangerous side. But obviously, the other side of that coin, Preston, the ultimate acca breakers so far this season. They beat Leicester, they beat Ipswich. They just keep getting results. And so at home against a top club who are going to come and play onto them, that might play in their favour. And, the one thing that Middlesbrough would probably look at, particularly against United last week, but maybe over not just this season, but over the last 2-3 seasons, is that fallibility in front of goal. Are they going to take the chances they create? Are they going to hurt teams? And for Preston, with Everson, who we know is an outstanding goalkeeper, a defence that is really well organised and well set, they could be the kind of team that frustrate Middlesbrough. And I think actually, more than anything, this is probably the game where we'll learn the most about what Middlesbrough has done differently to where they've been previously. Because coming and beating Sheffield United, they always beat us. Even doesn't matter what the season is, they've beat us at the Riverside every year for as long as I can remember. I think the last time we won there was 1997. But a game like this against one of the lesser fancied teams in the division, where they've got to break down a low block, that's the challenge that Middlesbrough have struggled most against for 2-3 seasons. So I want to see them go and really attack this game and really break down Preston to show that it's not just a flash in the pan. They're going to keep this form up all season.
Absolutely. Well, Ollie, I think that just wraps it.
Just about wraps us up, does it, Gab?
Just about wraps us up in a blanket, yeah. I like spending my Monday evenings with you, Ollie. That just about wraps it up this evening. Thanks everyone. Bit of a light show this week. Ollie, thanks as always for joining us. Thanks to Matt Jones as well from the Racecourse Ramble, and we'll see you again for another Championship podcast here on EFL Debate next week. In the meantime, get subscribed to us on YouTube and on Spotify.